nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The cement cabal is inflicting hardship on Nigerians as the prices of rent and associated services have increased.
Random increase in the price of cement worries lawmakers. Vow to get at the root of the matter.
But this will open the educational system to more children of the poor.
And House Lords President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on student loan as bill on the scheme scales second reading. It's time again for a fresh package of the legislative program House Ticket, a weekly program that keeps you informed about the activities and events of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Dehelia Mamza, welcoming you to this week's episode. The random increase in the price of cement by its manufacturers across the country, as well as the second reading of a bill to repeal the Student Loan Act, were among bills and motions deliberated upon by the House in the week under review. We shall also bring you the engagement of the House Committee on Host Communities with the coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project to discuss matters that affect host communities in oil-producing areas. These, alongside other reports, make up our program today. I will be back with the full details shortly. Don't go away.
The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Welcome back. House Ticket, as usual, kicks off with highlights of activities of your lawmakers during plenary in the last 1 week. For highlights of matters of urgent national importance, motions on the other paper, as well as bills, let's take our first report as compiled and presented from our studio.
Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness and prosperity of Nigeria.
The House on Tuesday, 12th March 2024 during plenary received a letter from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the 2024 statutory budget proposal for the Federal Capital Territory Administration for consideration and approval by the National Assembly.
The budget proposal has been prepared on the basis of the FCTA's revenue and expenditure forecast and is aligned with the fiscal and developmental policies of the federal government and the renewed hope agenda. In addition, the budget proposal takes into consideration the 2024-2026 Economic Recovery Growth Plan, as well as key assumptions in the 2024 Appropriation Act.
The House notes that on March 7, 2024,
still on the same Tuesday, Representative Ahmed Munir moved a matter of urgent public importance on the urgent need to tackle the abduction of over 200 students in Kuriga community of Chikun and secure lives and property in Kaduna State.
That on March 7, 2024, gunmen stormed local education authority, primary school and government secondary school in Kuriga community, where over 200 students and teachers have been forcibly abducted and moved to the forest unchallenged. Also notes that 2 months back, this ugly menace occurred in the same community where a school principal, Malam Abu Sufyan, was killed days earlier and his wife and baby abducted. The wife and baby were later rescued in a successful joint security operation on 3rd February 2024. Aware that on Friday, 8th March 2024, gunmen attacked worshippers in a mosque at Angwarmat era, was Sakawasa community in Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State, with 2 persons declared dead.
The lawmaker called on the House to mandate the Office of the National Security Advisor to coordinate and galvanize all the security and intelligence network to bring back the students and to further develop and execute a proactive master plan to restore security. Again, urged the Office of the National Security Advisor to revisit and optimize fully the act passed for the National Counter-Terrorism Center as well as the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to ensure they serve the purpose for their establishment. Urge the federal government to absolve the military of all the envelope budget system and allow them to develop a robust budget that is based on need assessment that reflects the security reality on ground. And mandate the Committee on Finance to investigate the utilization and effectiveness of the Safe School Initiative Fund and report back to the House in 4 weeks for further legislative action.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on national security and finance for further legislative actions.
Several motions on the order paper were voted on and adopted, one of which was moved by Representative Marie Ebikake on the need to assess environmental impact of transporting crude oil by mega seagoing vessels from Nembe Creek trunk to offshore crude oil storage in the Atlantic Ocean by ITO E&P.
The commencement of the transportation of crude oil using mega seagoing vessels by ITO E&P to reduce the distance of crude oil transportation through pipelines and drastically minimize the incidence of crude oil theft. They are also aware of the construction of an oil tank farm at the Nembe Creek flow station from where crude oil are transported via the St. John Rio Bento River through Nembe, Brass, Okpoma, and Beletema to the offshore crude oil storage facility in the Atlantic Ocean, 27 kilometers off the shoreline of the island of Brass. Worried about the effects of the project on the environment and humans in terms of shoreline erosion, accident from collision of operational vessels, and the possible loss of lives.
The resolutions were for the House to urge the Federal Ministry of Environment to compel the management of ITO E&P to conduct an environment impact assessment on the project as dictated by the Environment Impact Assessment Act 2004 and include the host communities, the state government and stakeholders in line with international global practice, subject to scrutiny of the public and environmental experts. Mandate the Committee on Environment and Petroleum Resources Midstream to investigate environmental impact of transporting crude oil by mega seagoing vessels from Nembe Creek trunk to offshore crude oil storage in the Atlantic Ocean by ITO E&P and monitor compliance with the Ministry of Environment and the management of ITO E&P with the requirement and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The motion was referred to the Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency for further legislative action.
Clerk.
I rise to move a motion on...
Another motion on notice that was voted and adopted was on the arbitrary increase in the price of cement by manufacturers of cement in Nigeria. It was moved by Representative Gaza Jonathan Gwefi.
The manufacturers of cement have capitalized on exchange volatility to arbitrarily increase the price of the product, whose cost of production has not changed significantly since last year. The House is also concerned that the cement cabal is inflicting hardship on Nigerians as the prices of rent and associated services have increased, and cognizant that the increase is a direct affront and sabotage of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration's effort to bring comfort to the populace and should be resolved immediately.
The price of cement has continued to grow, and Nigerians are asking, why is this price increasing daily when all the raw material are sought locally?
Mr. Speaker, go to Madagali in Adamawa State. You will see how these cements are produced for the purpose of sustaining Nigerian economy with the support of government-friendly policies that have helped these cement mafias to establish business and make money with the Nigerian economy, but they turn back to put the economy into shambles.
We know these manufacturers enjoy every tax breaks. They enjoy every incentive from our government. But today, they still cannot feel sorry for the Nigerian people. Mr. President, this is the People's Parliament. This is the 10th Assembly. We will not let this fly.
They bought government companies from Sokoto Cement to Benue Cement, all government properties, cheaply sold to them. They are now holding Nigerians to ransom. They have constituted themselves into a monopoly, sabotaging the Nigerian government and the masses. And the right time for government intervention is now.
We must open the floodgate of importation of cement to this country. You see, they will reduce the entire cost of their production. We need to open the floodgate.
The resolution was for the House to mandate the Committees on Solid Minerals Development, Commerce, Industry and Special Duties to investigate the arbitrary increase in the price of cement by manufacturers of cement in the country and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action.
Vote of this amendment should say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted as amended and referred to the House Committees on Solid Minerals, Industries, Special Duties as well as the appearance before the House.
The ayes have it.
On bills, a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Mining Development Bank to provide financial support, promote investment and foster sustainable development in the mining sector of Nigeria and for related matters, sponsored by Representative Uchenna Harris Okonkwo, scaled second reading. This was on Tuesday, 12 March 2024.
Let us collectively recognize the historic opportunity before us to pave the way for a reinvigorated, sustainable and globally competitive mining sector through the establishment of the Nigerian Mining Development Bank. I implore you all to please support this bill, for in doing so we invest not only in the future, but we also invest in our mining sector that holds prosperity for our beloved nation.
If you observe, 90% of our mining companies are being established, managed, generated, exploited by foreign multinational companies. It's not because of anything, because we don't have enough fund to even tap our own resources. We don't have the income to tap our own resources. We don't have encouragement from government to tap our own resources. With the establishment of this bank, loans and other financial investments will be granted to the industry, and at the end of the day, we are going to fetch a lot of things.
The solid mineral sector is a very complex sector, and unfortunately, the average banking outlet that will actually require you to, in some cases, exhume the grave of your grandmother before they can give you a loan, do not take into cognizance the high risk factor that is involved in this sector. To this end, we need a special purpose vehicle that will be able to put together the intricacies involved in the very complex, risky nature of this business and bring about facilities that will foster deep exploration, value addition, and of course, prosperity to our nation.
The bill was voted on, approved, and was referred to the House Committee on Solid Minerals Development for further legislative action.
Clerk, move that the bill be read a second time.
Still at second reading was a bill titled Student Loan, Access to Higher Education Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. This was on Thursday, 14th March 2024. Being an executive bill, it stood in the name of the House Leader, Representative Julius Ihonvere.
I think this bill is welcome. It has come at the right time when Nigerians need a pat on the back for their patience, for their understanding, for their tolerance of the difficulties that we are facing. But this will open the educational system to more children, children of the poor. They will have access to loans. In my days at the University of Ife, some got their loans and bought Kawasaki 250. It was then sold for less than 100,000 naira. But they were able to pay their fees. They paid departmental dues. They had good meals, and they wore good clothing. This will make sure that the educational system is no longer reserved for the children of the rich or for the children of legislators.
It will help in giving or accommodating our young people that are yearning to be educated. It will create an opportunity for them to have a very qualitative and timely education, which in a very short distance will translate into expanding and improving our economic activities and give a very robust economic and social accommodation in the country.
The bill, as represented, has taken care of the issues of process of application. It has taken care of the issues of what is expected of applicants to place before the government, and in fact repayment and sustainability procedures, which were absent in the initial bill.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for thinking through and to see the reason for this timely bill. This goes to show that we are already complying with the post-legislative scrutiny, which has become a global convention wherein Parliament review bills that have been passed by Parliament and see how areas that need amendment to suit to the realities of the day are being considered. This is one of those.
Those in support that this bill be read the second time, say aye.
The bill was voted on, approved, and referred to the relevant committee of the House.
The ayes have it. Clerk.
Meanwhile, several bills were presented for first reading. They include Allocation of Revenue Federation Account Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Mansour Manusoro and 5 others. Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, ECAMIDIM, Akwa Ibom State Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Clement Jimbo. Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Anthony Adebayo Adepoju. Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Olusoji Abidemi Adetunji. National Assembly Library Trust Fund Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Julius Ihonvere.
You are still onto the legislative program House Ticket, a weekly program that keeps you up to speed on the activities and events of your lawmakers in the Green Wing of the National Assembly, coming to you on the parliamentary channel of the NTA. The Committee on Host Communities on Tuesday, 12 March 2024, in an interactive session, had before it the coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP. Chairman of the committee, Representative Dumnamenem Deko, stated the purpose of the engagement as being to restructure the obligations driven by the levy of 3% of annual operation expenditure of oil and gas companies as provided in the Petroleum Industry Act, as well as remediation activities on the Clean Ogoni Land Project, among other issues related to the development of the host communities.
This committee is to ensure that both water, the air, and the already very devastated environment in Ogoni land, and also even beyond. Remember, for those of us who have traveled around the Niger Delta, particularly those who were able to travel with us during the PID, we went to a lot of communities and saw the level of devastation. That of the Ogoni was a very serious one. The DCO,
which I coordinate.
In his presentation, the coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, Professor Naribarini Zabe, informed the committee about the role and objectives of the project.
We are responsible for enhancing capacity and to promote peace building in Ogoni land. We are also responsible for providing potable water to the people of Ogoni land. And we are also responsible for carrying out a comprehensive health study of the Ogoni people, because the people have been exposed to hydrocarbon contaminants, which are carcinogenic. Because of the pollution, the traditional livelihoods of the people have been degraded, because the people are mainly fishers and farmers. So we are responsible for restoring their traditional livelihoods and for creating alternative livelihood opportunities for the people of Ogoni land.
He also assured the committee, as well as Nigerians, of the proper evaluation and monitoring of projects and funding in the host communities for data and record keeping.
Most questions that is being thrown out to you.
Some members of the committee reacted to his presentation during the meeting.
We need to embark on oversight to determine the extent of these projects, the extent they have done. So, even public hearing. So, Chairman, if you ask me, yes, because the idea of this HYPREP is to clean up Ogoni land. If a lot of people can lose their life and the people in that Ogoni land are deprived of their livelihood, and eventually funds are provided and the jobs are not done or is done haphazardly, then the excess is defeated.
Most questions that is being thrown out to you, I don't see definite answer. Mr. Chairman, it is obvious that we should give them more time for them to furnish us with the definite answers as regards our questions. Those questions that have emanated in these interactions today. This is a serious business of the House, and that of this most revered committee is a very serious business.
The committee urged the regulatory body to carry out its supervisory role, as well as monitoring and evaluation of projects to ensure prompt payment of the 3% operating expenditure, OPEX, and quality works execution that will add value to the lives of the Ogoni people and other oil spillage zones.
Immediately. But once we write now, another engagement.
Meanwhile, the committee earlier expressed its displeasure with the Minister of Environment for failing to appear before it on the same day.
We are not inviting him as Minister of Environment. We are inviting him as Chairman of the Governing Council. And I believe that this is the second time we are inviting him. At the close of our proceedings, we will take relevant steps to make sure that he appears before this committee.
And that's it for today. It's been an enlightening half hour spent on hearing and learning about activities and events of our lawmakers at the Green Chambers. Always remember to visit our social media platforms to direct your comments and questions, and also watch previous episodes of our program. Thank you for watching and see you next week.